I found a little friend for my motorcycle. Man, I'd love to have a truck like that. All right, everybody, it's a new start, new day. Let's get some work done. First of all, we've got to get a trailer and let's get a hold of that red VFR bike. Okay, before I put the bike on, I'm gonna have to install this little wheel chock thing. So yeah, it's got to go back on. I took it off so I could haul a bunch of stuff. Anyways, let me get that on. Man, I haven't started this bike up in a long time. How about a nice cold start? Everybody want to hear that? Okay, all loaded up. Let's get in the truck and let's go. I found a little friend for my motorcycle. Man, I'd love to have a truck like that. That's one day I have a hopes to take this truck and pull the body off of it, put the body, something like that on it. Future projects. Okay, so we got back and it's right outside. Let me open this door up and let's get this bike unloaded. There we have it. Now we got the bike inside. It is now home with the other bike and the other car and all that good stuff. Sooner or later, we'll get the vet over here also. I still have a few plans for it to do some running around and having fun before I bring it over here for a while. Anyways, let me show you what I'm doing here on the workbench. Yeah, so I got the bolt bend thing. My dad gave me this. He wasn't using it or whatever, and he said, here, try using it. And I'm going to fill this thing up, get a lot of use out of it. My daughter, I built this for her. She needed something to store stuff in a closet or something, and thank you to my daughter. She let me have it back because she got a nice one now, and yeah, fits right underneath this, just perfect. I'm going to stick all of these little plastic things full of little knick-knacky stuff and organize that there, and the loose bolts will go up there. Man, that worked out great. All right, before any more time kind of gets by on me, I really need to get that Honda Shadow outside and take the power washer to it and clean it off. So yeah, I'll leave that right up there and let's get to it. Now that we got it back in here and I've got it back on the lift, it's got a chance to dry. And I've been kind of looking at it a little bit. I'm gonna get you in for a closer look just to see, it did come spotless clean. It still needs some cleaning. And we're gonna take a look at what all is in store for me here. Little cover on top of the piston here, and it's chrome. It's probably plastic or something. But this is what it's supposed to look like. And so yeah, I just basically been rubbing on that with a little bit of rubbing compound, which you use in bodywork, and it cleaned up that chrome real nice. Just a lot of cleaning. Now, one of my issues is I think I need to take everything apart to get to it because it's really hard for me to be jamming my fingers up in there, and man, I'm just tearing myself up. I feel like if I took this off and did it offline and then put it back on, it'd be much better, especially when it comes to trying to get into tight areas like right down in there. How else are you supposed to scrub that clean without taking it completely off? And it's not a bad idea. I'm thinking about taking this rear wheel off anyways. I'll go ahead and take off this cover, clean it off by itself, and then the same thing with these two shocks. It looks like the only bolts holding these on is the shock bolt. So yeah, I think I'm going to do more disassembly here on some of these covers, especially on the airbox on this other side. I started kind of wiping it in, but I can't get in there. Yeah, your finger just doesn't fit. So you can't get that clean without removing the Allen bolt. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take off some of these covers. It's the next day here, and today I decided I needed to take time and look at the car a little bit, make sure everything was good after that road trip we took on the last video. Anyways, there's a couple things I want to address. I want to look at the spark plugs. I got some new ones. Don't know if I need the new ones, but I got them here anyways. I'm going to take those spark plugs out and see how they ran on that road trip. There was a lot of miles we put on the car, because if you're running lean, you can really do some damage. So I need to know what's going on. This is a connector to the temperature gauge, and I wanted to see what the temperature was reading, but this little connector was just kind of flopping around and not giving me a good connection. I might have to go to the auto parts store and look for the right type of connection. Yeah, so I got to get cranking on a wrench here and let me see what I can get done. I almost got cylinder number 2 out. Cylinder number 1 looked really good. I want to see the comparison between the two. Okay, this is where I kind of worry a little bit. So cylinder number 2, this is pretty black and it's wet. So I either have fuel draining while it's sitting or something, or some noise. But if you look at cylinder number 1, it is nice and tan, and that's a good looking spark plug. But 2 is pretty dark. Okay, so not the worst case scenario there ever, but good to know. I like this. I think this will run great, but this one is a little dark. I'm gonna try to clean this up, and I bet you my outside cylinders are running pretty lean, and the center 4 cylinders are probably pretty rich. So I got some work to do. That would be 1, 3, 5. This is cylinder 5. So cylinder 3 was pretty dark. Cylinder 1 was great, like this one, and this is cylinder 5. So, wow, I like that. What that tells me is, basically this car likes to run at 3,000 RPM. And the spark plugs like to fall to the ground when your hands are cold. Seven. That's cylinder 2. Cylinder 4. Now I notice there is wet around the threads, but the end is dry and a nice color. So that makes me think oil leak maybe? Let me see. That's oil. That's not gas. So I have oil around the threads for some reason. I gotta figure that out. This cylinder 6. Man, I wish that'd focus a lot better. It's also a little bit wet, like oil, but the end of the spark plug is really nice color. Okay, and this is number 8. So far, I still have oil a little bit around this one. That puzzles me, but okay. But the plug looks good. So out of all of the plugs, cylinder 3 is the only one that was really black. This one, nice and tan, a little bit of a dark spot on the back side, but that just means the flames are over here when it's exploding into the chamber versus some of the others. Okay, so I really like spark plugs. I put them all right back in, except for cylinder number 3. I'd spent time to actually clean that one up. So I think we're all good. I'm down a little bit on the oil from the trip, but I was expecting that because I'm leaking it around the oil pan gasket. All right, well, we're gonna put this back in. I'm gonna call it good and say that the engine's ready for date night, which is Valentine's Day, which is coming up this next weekend. Yeah, so the car's gotta perform. All right, that just got those parts ordered that I needed for the bike. I got a set of grips and an air filter, so they'll be coming in real soon. As far as the car, I got me some little connectors I think work better. A later date, I'm gonna put in this brand new temperature sensor that works best with these connectors. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Car's ready for date night for Valentine's Day. Man, I can't wait. And 2, I've got a lot of work to do out there on that bike. So until next episode, I'm gonna say y'all have a good weekend.